The funeral service was conducted in the church of Cockpen by the Reverend J. Crabb of St. Andrew's Episcopal Church town of Brechin, and as the two coffins were lowered into their last resting place, then the people retired with sad hearts at a quick pace. Or the insistence on the cultural liminality of ceremonial, the urban and the human aspect of national trauma in these lines on the death of the German emperor. And as the procession passes the palace, the blinds are drawn completely, and every house is half hidden with a sable drapery, and along the line of march expensive arches were erected, while the spectators standing by seemed very dejected. The authorities of Berlin, in honor to the emperor, considered it no sin to decorate with crepe the beautiful city of Berlin. Therefore Berlin, I declare, was a city of crepe, because few buildings crepe decoration did escape. One notices here the brilliant deployment of interstitial perspective. The people stand between the arches, while the anticipated procession doubles as the progressive metaphor of social adhesion. And of course the poet's preoccupation with the ceremonial of death underlines the self-consciousness, belatedness of the cultural work. The crepe-lined streets become the paysage moralisé of a mass-manufactured, bureaucratically organized effulgence of what McGonagall would doubtless call the trappings and the suits of woe. Finally, in the epic Taberidge cycle, it is the human aspect of the triumph and tragedy that predominates, communicating a sense not only of individual, community and national, but even international trauma. Notice the names, the individuals whose experience dominates in the first. The railway bridge of the Silvery Tay. Beautiful railway bridge of the Silvery Tay, with your numerous arches and girders and pillars in so grand array, and your central girders, which seem to the eye to be almost towering to the sky, the greatest wonder of the day and a great beautification to the River Tay, most beautiful to be seen, near by Dundee and the Magdalen Green. Beautiful railway bridge of the Silvery Tay, that has caused the Emperor of Brazil to leave his home far away, incognito in his dress, and view thee ere he passed along to Inverness. Beautiful railway bridge of the Silvery Tay, and prosperity to Provost Cox, who has given £30,000 and upwards away in helping to erect the bridge of the Tay, most handsome to be seen, near by Dundee and the Magdalen Green. Beautiful railway bridge of the Silvery Tay, I hope that God will protect all passengers by night and by day, and that no accident will befall them while crossing the bridge of the Silvery Tay, for that would be most awful to be seen, near by Dundee and the Magdalen Green. Serene and confident as this poem may at first appear, it takes only a little re-examination to elicit a very different subtext. To any reader familiar with the deconstructive theory of Jacques Derrida, in this context one might say to the trained reader, a phrase like almost towering to the sky in line 4, with its delicate qualification, utterly subverts the ensuing claims to its being the, quote, the greatest wonder of the day and, quote, a great beautification. Similarly, the overt wish of prosperity to Provost Cox serves as a reminder that Cox's donations were not altruistic, but directed towards ensuring his own prosperity under cover of enhancing the prosperity of everyone else. Finally, the wish that all passengers may be preserved from harm anticipates the very thing it purports to reject. To wish that a disaster may not happen is first to think that it may happen. And of course, in this case, it did. In the second poem, it is the magnitude of human suffering and the indifference of formerly smiling nature that set the Juvenalian, if not wholly Lucretian, tone. The Taberidge Disaster. Beautiful railway bridge of the Silvery Tay, alas, I am very sorry to say that 90 lives have been taken away on the last Sabbath day of 1879, which will be remembered for a very long time. When the train left Edinburgh, the passengers' hearts were light and felt no sorrow. But when the train came near to Wormit Bay, Boreas he did loud and angry bray, and shook the central girders of the Bridge of Tay on the last Sabbath day of 1879, which will be remembered for a very long time. So the train moved slowly along the Bridge of Tay until it was about midway. Then the central girders with a crash gave way, and down went the train and the passengers into the Tay. The storm fiend did loudly bray, because 90 lives had been taken away on the last Sabbath day of 1879, which will be remembered for a very long time. It must have been an awful sight to witness in the dusky moonlight, while the storm fiend did laugh and angry did bray along the railway bridge of the Silvery Tay. O ill-fated bridge of the Silvery Tay, I must now conclude my lay by telling the world, fearlessly, without the least dismay, that your central girders would not have given way, at least many sensible men do say, had they been supported on each side with buttresses, at least many sensible men confesses, for the stronger we our houses do build, the less chance we have of being killed. In this concentrated brief epic of a train's falling off a bridge into a river, surely the ultimate mise en abîme, the bridge itself is under erasure. And in the final panel of the immortal triptych, the wheel is come full circle. An address to the new Tay Bridge. Beautiful new railway bridge of the Silvery Tay, with your strong brick piers and buttresses in so grand array, and your 13 central girders, which seem to my eye strong enough all windy storms to defy. And as I gaze upon thee, my heart feels gay, because thou art the greatest railway bridge of the present day, and can be seen for miles away, from north, south, east, or west of the Tay on a beautiful and clear sunshiny day. Because thine equal nowhere can be seen, only near by Dundee and the bonny Magdalen Green. Beautiful new railway bridge of the Silvery Tay, with thy beautiful side screens along your railway, which will be a great protection on a windy day, so as the railway carriages won't be blown away, and ought to cheer the hearts of the passengers night and day as they are conveyed along thy beautiful railway. And towering above the Silvery Tay, spanning the beautiful river shore to shore, upwards of 2 miles and more, which is most wonderful to be seen, near by Dundee and the bonny Magdalen Green. I hope this brief study has enabled a clearer and more appreciative view of the art of William McGonagall. Contemplating this mighty oeuvre, we can only echo the prescient appreciation of Percy Bysshe Shelley. Scotland's arch poet remains indeed in his proper medium, pinnacled dim in the intense inane. In Arnold's words, others abide our question, thou art free. Thank you.
What a revelation. Professor Snood would be happy to take questions.
If there are any questions. Yes.
Well, when it comes to shipwreck poetry, I wonder if you care to speculate on the obvious influence this has had on Hopkins' The Wreck of the Deutschland and Pratt's The Titanic. The links seem to me blatantly obvious.
So obvious indeed that I feel that any commentary from me would be
Come on, more than that.
have an observation. McGonagall was, of course, a Scot, and his favourite rhyming syllable throughout the oeuvre is A. He loves to end a line with a sonorous A. In The Match Girl, she dies on the last day of the year. The Taberidge Disaster took place on the 28th of December, and New Year is mentioned twice in the section you omitted. Why is it that I can't remember ever seeing anywhere in his poems the word hogmanay?
Very interesting observation. I myself do not recall seeing the word hogmanay. I can only suppose that either it was not in use in Dundee in McGonagall's day, or possibly that his well-known adhesion to the temperance movement may have caused him to avoid using a term associated with imbibing and excess of an alcoholic kind.
There being no more questions, I think we should end this, bring these proceedings to a close, and thank Professor Snood for an extraordinary, absolutely incredible new understanding of the whole McGonagall oeuvre. So please join me in thanking Professor Snood.